And my boyfriend will
Hey, what's up? I'm in my local thrift store here and I'm rummaging around looking for anything I can find that might be overlooked. Sometimes if you look hard enough you can find items that are like 120 years old from the last century. You just got to be able to look through all this junk and have a sharp eye. The trick is being able to eye something and recognizing it as an antique. For instance, this right here, like the weight is missing, the gasket is missing. It's dirty. Look at all that. And then the bottom of the pot is warped. So like this stuff is just junk, and more junk. However, alright, take a look right here and see if you can spot the 120-year-old antique mixed in with all this modern day junk. Do you see it? It's right here. That right there. Yeah, so this right here is the real thing, and you can see that it's camouflaged and all this other junk right here. So if I pick this up and turn it upside down, it says made in China on it, and so that looks old, but it's a replica. Now this right here is actually authentic because I recognize this, and when I first saw it I'm like, that is not shaped right, and it looked strange. And so when I looked at the mold seam here, when I looked at the mold seam, I saw that the mold seam faded away, and so then I didn't see any other markings on it, and then it hit me what this is. This is what they call a what do you call this? Oh, capers. Yeah, this is a capers jar. So you know those do you know those like little berries that are fermented? Interesting, there's a little bit of dirt on the inside. I can see there's like caked in mud right there. Probably means that somebody found this on the ground, like buried in the mud, and it ended up here at the store. And so I'm the second person to actually have found this. Yeah, so looking at these side by side, I mean they don't look any different. That's modern, and that's 140 years old. So nobody knows why they were shaped like this. I think that the reason why they were tall and skinny is because the capers needed to be underneath salt water and vinegar, otherwise they would go bad. Because in the 1880s, you know, there was no refrigeration. So I think that there was a fork that went with this too. Like you would stick the fork down there. So let's go see if we can find one of those. Lots of junk, and more junk. Here's another old bottle, but these are a dime a dozen unless you find one from a city that's rarely made, like Lynchburg, Virginia. How about that? That looks like it could be really old. However, if you read it clearly on the bottom, it says made in China. So anyway, so that's all I was able to find today. But you understand the technique. It's this reproduction stuff that camouflages the good stuff. But if you got a sharp eye, you can find something that's 120, 130 years old, and you can buy it for $2.99. Anyway, I didn't get a chance to finish what I was saying in the store because people were looking at me, but capers were imported into the United States. They arrived on these ships in probably these wooden barrels, and the ships were half sails and half steam powered. And it's so interesting to be able to, you know, go to the local thrift store and find something that's 120, 140 years old. But that's part of the fun. So, but I tell you what, every time I go to the city, I'm just shocked at what I see, which makes me want to come venture back out to the country. And then after a while of living back out in the country, you kind of get used to it. And then when you go back to the city, you are just double shocked by what you see. But I like living out here. It's what I wanted. Thank you.